Welcome, everybody, to the NFL Draft Geek Film Room. I'm Brian Johannes, and on this episode, we're going to take a look at Iowa defensive end AJ Epenesa. He's been one of the most accomplished pass rushers the last couple of years in college football, and he's had another good year this year. So we're going to take a look at a few clips to kind of highlight the type of prospect he is, and then I'll get into my kind of projection of him as we move forward. So hope you guys enjoy. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The first clip I want to show you, and we're going to take a look at just this Minnesota game because of kind of how he performed in this game. And this first clip that we're going to look at, he's, as you can see with the circle around him, he lines up as the right defensive end on a primary basis. He will slide inside from time to time, but when he's outside on the edge, he is that right defensive end. And we're going to take a look at this first play, and this first play is just shows him winning with speed. Let's start the clip. He's got enough burst, he's got enough speed that he's able to just beat this left tackle around the edge and just, gets it with a good burst off the line. I mean, look at how quick the ball is snapped, and look at where he is, and automatically puts this left tackle at on his heels right away. He's able to just win with speed, catch this left tackle kind of lunging, and then kind of turn the corner. You didn't see a whole lot of bend. He didn't really sink his hips to get around this left tackle, but he's able to beat him with speed and then use his ankle flexibility as he puts his foot right there to kind of turn, flatten. He doesn't get the sack, but he did affect that pass, make it a little off target, and the wide receiver wasn't able to make that catch. We see later on in the game, he wins around the edge once again. He's going to use a club move right here against this left tackle, so he kind of swings that right hand in to club and kind of knock the left tackle off, off balance, get his hands down a little bit. Once again, flatten around the edge. Gave up a completion and that, but he did get a quarterback hit right here, and we all know that yes, you'd love to get sacks. Yes, you'd love to get strip sacks and all that fun stuff. But if you're able, especially early in the game, it's still the first half, to get hits on the quarterback and make him feel that pressure, that's definitely a win, setting stuff up for the future. One thing that AJ Epenesa had to deal with throughout his season is the constant attention. Last year he came in off the bench. They had guys like Anthony Nelson and Parker Hesse, who were accomplished, and everyone knew about AJ Epenesa, but he didn't get the attention that he did this year. And because he was their premier pass rusher, best defensive lineman on their team, he got a lot of attention, especially in this game where he had already had some production. Here he is on the right-hand side. They're going to send 3 guys at him. I just want to kind of point this out just because that's the type of it affects his numbers, and it affects teams are game planning to stop him. So as we see here, the tight end's going to release and chip him. The left tackle's going to be there, and they even send the running back there. And there was not much he could do there just because they sent basically 3 guys to contain just him. Later on in the game, at the end of the third quarter, Minnesota's kind of been making a comeback. They're within the red zone once again, and AJ Epenesa is right here. He's going to get and make a big-time play for Iowa with a strip sack here. And on this play, as you're going to see, he's going to make a quick move to the inside and get to the quarterback to get that strip sack. They didn't recover it, but once again, he shows the quickness and the burst that he has. He's been going outside quite a bit in this game, so the left tackle sets up that way, goes to engage with them, not the best balance. Epenesa is able to make that quick move to the inside. Has to kind of honor because he's coming off that block, he has to honor and look to see if this running back has the ball. It is only second down. So he goes with him initially and then realizes the quarterback has it. And then the athletic move to make that lateral cut to swipe the ball over there, right there. Nearly got the recovery, by knocking it out. But just, shows the athletic ability, shows the power, shows the burst, all within that play. Iowa also moved AJ Epenesa inside a little bit here and there, especially in this game. in the fourth quarter. They lined him up as a defensive tackle. He's kind of, it looks like he's maybe shading the inside of this left guard, maybe head up on him. He's able to use his not only his size but his quickness and that to face off against these offensive guards, and we're going to see that in this play. Kind of faking like he's going to go outside just a bit, and then breaking inside, engage, quickly makes a cut in and gets the sack there on the quarterback. It's only a 4-point game right here, so he's able to make that quick move in there and just use that quickness against these interior linemen. We see that again in this play. He's able to make that move inside. Didn't really have to make too big of a move. It kind of the left guard just kind of whiffed on this block. He didn't get the sack there, but he was forced the quarterback to move up and let his teammate kind of clean it up for him. But Epenesa definitely shows that he's got that ability to not only rush off the edge, but team could slide him in sub packages to the interior, especially the 3 technique, and maybe head up on the guards and just work his way there. One thing you got to watch, especially with defensive linemen, is their effort. Are they giving up if they can't win initially? Are they constantly looking to fight through blocks? A guy like Epenesa, who got sent double teams, triple teams, like I showed you earlier, is he gonna see that and just be like, okay, I'm gonna take a break, get at the next play? And you didn't see that a lot with Epenesa, and then this play is a great example of it. So he's here on the right hand side. He's gonna rush. Got chipped by the tight end. Left tackle picks him up. Didn't win initially, and so he keeps fighting. Was able to break off inside and then help get the sack there. And a lot of it was just because of his effort and tenacity just to keep going and get after that quarterback. All right, the last clip I wanted to show you, I've been doing a lot of pass rushing, but what about AJ Epenesa as a run defender? And he's very capable, very competent run defender, and this is a great example of that. So once again, on the right edge, he's going to use his strength and get good leverage to kind of lift up this left tackle. So he gets underneath of him and then uses the strength. You see his left arm extend underneath the pad level to create that leverage. The left tackle is just completely in a horrible technique and space right there. And that gives him the ability to not only set the edge, because if this running back is going to try to break this outside, he has to widen out, and they've got more guys that can run there. So he has to cut it up, and Epenesa is still free to get underneath there and make that tackle, for a very short gain on 2nd and 4. So once again, he's able to get underneath the left tackle and kind of displace him and then go in and make that tackle. All in all, there's a lot to like about AJ Epenesa as not only an edge defender, but a 2020 NFL draft prospect. He's only a junior, so there's a chance he could go back for his senior year, but I think all indications would see him leaving. He's got the prototypical size, 6'6", 280 pounds. I think that kind of limits him a bit. Teams aren't, he doesn't project as a 3-4 outside linebacker. Are teams that run a base 3-4 or a base 3-man front, are they going to view him as a defensive end? I think if you run a kind of a one gap penetrating 3-4 like the Los Angeles Rams or the Carolina Panthers are running, I think he'd fit well within there. But I don't think he'd fit well within a kind of a 2-gap 3-4 team. So I think that could limit him to teams that are picking there. But here's a guy that's accomplished. He had 9 sacks this year, 24 on his 3-year career, and this was his first year as a full-time starter. So like I said, he didn't have the talent level around him that he had in past years. When as a sophomore, he had 10.5 sacks. He did force 3 forced fumbles this year, 8 on his career. So not only is he able to get sacks, he's also able to get that ball out and help create turnovers. I think if you're expecting him to be this explosive athlete, pass rusher, then he's not going to be the type of guy that you want. But he does show the ability to have burst, have bend, win with some athletic ability, but he's not your twitchy type guy. And so if you kind of go in with knowing that, I don't think he's going to be too big of a disappointment. At kind of one point, I thought he was a top five type prospect, a guy that could be drafted in the top five. I'm kind of leaning him to being more or less a top 15 type prospect. I think he'd go anywhere from that kind of maybe 7 or 8 to around 15, just because once again he's not that explosive type guy. It wouldn't shock me if he was picked in the 15 to 20 either. But I definitely think the right fit for him is in a 4-3 defense. Put him out on the edge, and then you can move him around quite a bit. We saw Clelin Ferrell go in with the 4th overall pick last year. I think Epenesa, it'll be curious to see what he tests at the combine. I think he's going to be very comparable to Clelin Ferrell, but I think he's a lot more consistent and has more upside. So we'll be kind of curious once again. It seems like pass rushers, a lot of them are smaller speed type guys. So a guy like Epenesa could rise in the process just because, similar to Clelin Ferrell, the Raiders needed a 4-3 defensive end, and there wasn't a lot of those true 4-3 guys, so that's why they took Clelin Ferrell that early. So I hope you guys enjoyed this AJ Epenesa video. Make sure that to get more of these, that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at draft_Brian, and thanks for watching.